Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Legion Lads podcast. I am your host, JR. Today we got Nick and Jose. What's going on, guys?
I'm back.
Yo,
I'm back.
Hey, long time no see, Nick. I thought you dished us for MCP there.
No, not really.
He's like, not yet.
Not yet.
uh,
Getting ready to.
I
uh,
might go to LVO for
yeah, I know.
MCB, see
With,
my
with your
rating.
with your elo up there, I was like, look at Jose busting those numbers. I like it. Um, this week, guys, we got for you some announcements. We're gonna do announcement for VetFest that's coming up on July 12th. So again, I know we've been talking about it every week. This is coming up real soon. I think it's only 2 weeks away. So if you haven't decided, please come. It'll be a lot of fun. Goldfish is going to be streaming our games. We're trying to get to 32 to make sure it's the grand tournament for next year, which is important because Nick, take it away.
Yeah, so the recent transmission that just came out from A&G, which is surprising and disappointing, I would say.
You can never be happy.
Well, okay, so first, the transmission. Transmission was, and I'm sure so a lot of people saw it, is that they basically are bringing back invites to Adepticon Worlds. So the announcement was that in addition to the Grand Tournament prizes, they're happy to work with Adepticon to offer an automatic seat in the Open Worlds tournament for anyone that wins a Grand Tournament will automatically qualify and will not have to play in one of the two qualifying heats at Adepticon to go to Worlds. Basically, what we had before, minus the hotel and the plane ticket and all that, right? But you know, an invite. So they brought back the invites. This, you know, why do they? It's just kind of, it's just frustrating. And I'm not even a competitive player that's going after invites, but this was a blow to the community, right? I think a little bit. I mean, I know people were disappointed when this went away, right? This was a thing. This was a thing that made World special. That what made Adepticon special was that there was invites to this tournament, and that was kind of the whole thing behind it. And then they got rid of it, and now it's back. Less, just one Adepticon later, right? It's
Yeah.
back. So it's just like, why? Why did they? I understand getting rid of the plane tickets and the free hotel, right? They can. That's not sustainable. I totally get that. They could have kept the invites from the beginning.
They
So
could have did the plane ticket. If you're gonna do the invite, you
no,
could at least do the plane ticket.
it's too
Nah,
You
much.
know,
No, it's too
no.
much. It's too much. And I totally get that. I don't expect them to pay for all that. But so it's back, which I guess is good news. Sad that they didn't want to wait to begin with, but that was a transmission that came out just this past week.
Honestly, I'm okay with it. I mean, because there should be a tournament, and I know we got the LVOIS now, but there should be a tournament where you have to earn your spot or earn your way because, we people play games and there's always a competitive edge to it. And people want to see that competitive gameplay, right? So bringing back the invite kind of gives you that high stakes reward back, like, oh, I have an invite that I could potentially just go straight to the tournament, win some cool prizes. And from what I heard from Rob when he went to Adepticon, they give out a lot of good prizes.
Yeah,
So that's also another incentive, which would be pretty cool.
yeah. So
What about you, Jose? What do you think?
I'm kind of bummed because I remember early worlds with Kyle from Notorious Scoundrels, Luke Cook, like these big old extravagant events where worlds felt like the Olympics. Like everybody was here. Norway was here, Australia was here, London was here, and it felt like a world's event. It felt like worlds. And then the plane tickets went away, the invites went away, and it just became like another side of a convention, big convention, gaming convention, a tournament for Legion. And like it kind of sucks because I feel like, yes, I know the planes and stuff weren't sustainable, but like people winning and like winning plane tickets and coming from overseas, like that was kind of hype. But it is what it is. Like I said, I don't know. Hopefully I'll go to Adepticon one day. But like, ooh, Jared's having issues now. Um, but I mean, it is what it is. I just don't understand like what like there's Worlds didn't feel like Worlds last season, so now it's hard to like feel like this changes anything in terms of making it feel like Worlds. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it hopefully it helps a little bit. Now, the invites aren't as broad though, right? Because before you could get invites from a lot more tournaments, right? There was a lot more invites out there. You didn't have to just win a grand tournament. Um, any a lot of the the smaller tournaments gave invites. So there's a lot less invites. I mean, there's what I think we was there 10, 12 grand tournaments the whole year for Legion. So you're not talking about a lot of invites. So with this new system. So
Well, but they had the second bracket too, which was like people could win their way into the
yeah.
tournament itself. But
Hmm.
I don't know, like I said, my thing is just like it went from feeling like a world event, Worlds, to just like an LVO 2.0, like a really known tournament from a world tournament where everybody from everywhere is playing. You know, it almost had that it almost like I said, it almost had like an Olympics vibe. United States, UK, you know, here we go, rah rah rah. To like I said, like unknown like LVO Lone Star Open, like this big it feels
Hmm.
more like it's just a big name event,
Yeah.
not exactly like something that world like I don't know. It's just that's the way it is for me, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
I think if anything we take from this is that they aren't done marinating on what they're going to do. Because I could be wrong. Didn't they just say not that long ago that they were going to, and maybe I'm making this up, but did they say they were going to give grand tournament winners a bye? Like they were going to get a first round bye or something like that. Like, and now this came out. I feel like is this like superseding that? Unless I'm totally remembering that wrong and I'm just making that up. I could have swore they already came out with something for Adepticon, and now this came out as it's like superseding it. Did that go away? I think it's just good that they're still looking at it. They're still making changes, right? They're not settling for what they have.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, Nick. It's a bittersweet, thing. Like, oh, okay, it's exciting, but at the same time, they're trying to figure everything out, and I'm sure they just got handed everything, and they're ironing out all the details and whatnot. But on that note, please come to VetFest so that we could be a GT next year, and then you can get a spot, an invitation to Adepticon, which would be pretty cool.
That was a
So,
sick segue, dude. That was your best segue ever.
thanks, man. Thanks, man. But moving on along, uh, we're gonna go back over some of the upgrades and the points adjustments because we need to get the rest of the point of view from Nick and Jose, the rest of the lads, see what their takes on it. I know me and John, we put out a rushed episode because they just dropped it. We want to cover it, but now that things are kind of settled out and everything, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on these upgrades and what you guys think about everything. So. Before we go to the points, let's do the upgrades. Um, Jose, what do you think of Strike and Fade, my man?
Ooh, Strike and Fade is nasty, dude. So I missed the pod for that specific when you and John went over that. But I did look at notes, I did see stuff that was coming out, and I was aware of what it did. It seemed great on paper, but I wasn't sure how it was really gonna be. Like things are good on paper and then they handle differently in tournament. I was thinking it looks okay on paper, and let's see how it does in tournament because, speeders are finicky.
Mm,
No, I will take it all back. Like speeders are back on the menu because of this upgrade. Uh, I ended up at our tournament. I ended up facing three speeder bikes, Imperial speeder bikes with Strike and Fade, and then my next round I faced off against three Fluttercrafts, two of them with Strike and Fade, and it's just annoying. It's like they have so much options once they make that attack to tap it and go somewhere. Like my game against Grayson, he was able to pop it at the end of the game, jump on my point, and made sure I didn't secure my bunker. And it was just annoying because like I couldn't reach him the entire game, and then when he needed to get there, boom, he was there. Same thing with the Fluttercrafts, but they're Bombardier Fluttercrafts, so it's like overrun, attack, and then Strike and Fade overrun. I'm like, what the hell? Like it is gross. I think this gives new life to speeders. I think having this extra movement just widens like a lot of stuff because you could essentially use it at like Grayson last moment jump on a very important POI. You can get with our friend Zach from Bakersfield. You can get an extra overrun. You can get out of dodge. You can normal times you'd be like move move attack. Great, I guess my airspeeder is gonna die. Now it's move move attack tap move again and you're gone. Like it is. I love it. I think it's super cool. It's what 5 points right now.
Yeah.
It's not staying 5 points. It's not like
It
I do have a
better.
small
It
sample
better.
size.
It's not worth it
I
if it's not five
Yeah,
points.
I agree with
no,
that.
it's
No,
no,
I honestly think
it's
it should cheaper.
no. Whoa, no, no, no.
no, not
I'm telling you right
cheaper.
now, it's not gonna stay. It's not gonna stay that low. It's not gonna. It's gonna go up. But
No, it
Nick,
can't. You expend it. You exhaust. Excuse me. You exhaust it.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't pay more than five points. It's good
I
because
gotta.
it's 5 points,
I got a lot of upgrades that are expended that are 10 points, 30 points, 40 points, 50 points.
but not for this. Not for just a move,
This
a
this can
one-time move.
change this can change the outcome of a game the same way a single force push can. A force push can push somebody off a POI. This can drag you late game onto a POI and change the outcome of that scoring
Yeah, but
situation.
the reason
Same
why
impact.
I think that's not going to go up in prices because you're only ever using this one time, right? Every other time, you're never going to want to recover. You're always
Hmm.
going to be shooting. The only unit that I think that's going to want to recover is the stab with the HQ uplink. That's it. You want to take an aim most of the time.
Or maybe with an airspeeder with an HQ uplink. That is
Sure,
Rebel airspeeder.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
wedge, like wedge, this and an HQ
yeah.
uplink. You know.
That you have more upgrades to
Hmm.
incentive to
Yeah.
tap them. What do you think, Nick? What do you think about this upgrade?
No, I do like this one. This one is cool. This is a cool upgrade because it's cheap, which means you could actually take it. It's usable. Yeah, I think 5 points is perfect for it. And yeah, I think it is a nice addition for speeders. Um, I don't care too much for the whole it's a training slot, then you can equip
Yeah,
this, which is a repeatable thing on this document for a few different ones. But no, I do like this. I think it's very useful to take with your speeders. And because I don't think it should go boys. Like you said, it exhausts. 5 points is good. You're going to use it once for the game, probably, maybe twice, probably not. But yeah, I do like this one. This is a good one.
yeah. Moving right along, we got Strike Team Leader for 8 points. Nick, what's your take on this one?
This is a really cool card. Yeah, this was also an exciting one to see. I like seeing an operative card that can help your special forces. You know, I definitely see this as a great card for rebels.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
you're taking this every time. Like there's never not you're never not
Yeah.
taking this card.
With
And
all of
you're
your
all
operatives you have,
yeah, you're all well, you always have two, maybe even three operatives. You're always gonna have at least one special forces that would love to have an extra token, right?
yeah.
And 8 points, I think is a good cost for it. I think that's pretty good. Um,
Well,
so
what candidates would you use this for?
as for the special forces,
That and the operative.
well, the operative it's just whoever you take, right? So are you
That matters
taking
though, right? Because it doesn't work on mercenaries, correct?
correct? It has to be same affiliation or faction. Yeah.
Yes,
So you
that kind
can't.
of sucks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're putting this on Jin or Cassian or Soka. I mean, you have a lot of choices there, right? And I think you're helping out the Mandos. Obviously, is probably the best option right now. Guess you could give an extra token to your sleeper cell. Not a bad idea either. Um, and I think you're always going to at least have one unit that makes it worth it for sure. So yeah, I like this card a lot.
Honestly, I want to see people start running Sabine Mando lists now that a lot of things went down, and we'll get to that. Or we went over that, and these upgrades just make it so much more appealing, in my opinion. Um, what about you, Jose? How do you like Strike Team Leader?
I like it. It's just more another way for things to get orders. Um, I mean, I don't have I think it's good for 8 points and a free order. Like that's cool. it gives you incentive to run packs together. So this, like you said, this could be good with like Sabine. So Sabine, Clan Ren, and then another, and with your little Special Forces Mando package. Um, that's cool because you can retinue off of them, and then they retinue off of you or something like that, right? It's
Yeah,
like
they
I forgot how it goes. Like one of
pretty
them
much you
has
get double tokens if you have retinue and then your operative has this one. So a
Yeah.
prime example, Sabine and Clan Ren would get double tokens. Clan Ren would get
Yeah, there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Or you could even do it to where you get, an double token is probably the best way to do it, but if you really wanted to spread the love out, you could retinue off of a separate Mando squad. So now you got three
Sure.
units running together, speed three Mandos that are retinuing off each other, nimble, dodges, stuff like that seems hella scary.
I
Yeah.
think you want to spread it. I don't, at least in the rebel situation, I don't think you want double tokens because that's the one thing that Mandos struggle with is generating tokens for themselves, getting
Sure.
that dodge for their nimble, right?
Mhm.
So I think you want to spread it out. Having two different units now, starting with a dodge each turn, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving right along, we got the mission objective for 6 points. Jose, how do you like this one?
Let me see which one was oh, it's just a reroll one die.
Yeah.
Um
But before you answer, though, acid tokens are not objective tokens, correct?
they haven't I know this was a question a lot along a lot of the podcasts, and I don't think anybody really has a
We
definitive
could we could we
answer.
could pull it up.
Yeah, because secondary objectives I don't think classify as objective because I know with the geos that I run, we got a way down. It says objective token. So whenever I give them, no wait, is it acid token? Oh
It's
man, now I got myself confused.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's
Oh no,
anything.
what it is that if a geo gets an asset token, they're way down, but they're allowed to have objective tokens and not be way down. Because I think the only objective tokens is intercept signal, right? Um, and then
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are different because they're a different token. They're a totally different token
yeah,
in the book, but I don't know if it also says under the asset, section that it also counts as objective. But I don't think it does.
that's what I'm
I
thinking
would
too.
I would
Yeah.
assume I would assume it does, just because it's your primary and your secondary, their objectives, I guess.
So
It's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna come down to the forums, and nobody likes the forums.
is am I correct in thinking that the only objective that has a token that you need to hold is intercept signal?
I think yes, but once again, then that's why I'm saying that doesn't sound right, because why would you pay 6 points to interact with one mission you're not guaranteed to get?
Well, no, it's all objective. It's all POIs.
Yeah,
All
it's all POI.
POIs.
It's
Yeah,
just
all
it has
POIs.
the text saying that if they're holding an objective token, but not, and that's where I think the only objective that holds a token is intercept signal. But I could definitely be wrong on that. But while I double check that, Jose, how do you feel about this upgrade?
I mean, it's 6 points for a tap, reroll one attack die. I mean, I don't know. I'm not big on single things like that. I think for 6 points in that slot, I mean, there's better options like seize the initiative, strike team leader, offensive push, up close and personal. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's one die. Like if it was two, I'd be like, all right, cool. Then you're working with something. But like your one die most of the time is gonna be a black. Sorry, I'm burping over here. It's most of the time it's just gonna be a black die. Like, because realistically your red die is gonna hit most of the time, so you would never want to you'll never need to reroll that. But even then, like lower impulse, like if you're shooting, like if I'm shooting B1s into, I know they can't take it, but old Pathfinders. If I'm shooting white dice, like I'm re-rolling a white die, like
Why
even
you gotta
re-rolling
bring
one
that
black.
up? Why you gotta bring up
I'm
Pathfinders?
sorry.
This is.
Even and that's what even Strike Team Leader would have been perfect with Pathfinders.
Oh my
Anyways,
gosh, it would have been so good with Pathfinders. Oh, strike team leader giving an aim to Bists in every turn.
That's probably why they
Oh,
took out Pathfinder. Just like, ah, this is
no,
too
I'm
OP.
sorry.
that's
I'm
so
sorry. Too soon.
gosh.
Too soon. Sorry, Nick. But no, I'm just saying like the 6 points you're paying is variable because A, you don't know what die you're gonna re-roll. Some attack pools have red, some just have black, some have white. Therefore, your 6 point might vary on that end. Like if this is on like Maul who's doing a saber throw, then you're re-rolling a red, you feel good about it. If it did miss, it's worth it. But like if you take like a non-surging black die unit like Pikes and you're like, let me roll this one black die, it doesn't feel as good, especially not on a white die unit. So I would feel better about it if it was at least two, but I don't know. I don't see myself taking this for one die. Like, because
Yeah,
not only that, they're getting nine. Chances are they're obscured and they're getting cover from this. So I don't know. This game is getting to the point where like it wants to do a bunch of rerolls like MCP, but I don't think it's doing the rerolls like as good as MCP does it. But I am never looking at this upgrade and thinking like I'm gonna take this. I'd rather take everything else.
yeah. What do you think, Nick?
So I don't know if I would necessarily take it very often, but am I wrong in saying that I would always take this over offensive push? Why would I ever take offensive push? So, offensive push,
Okay,
you usually use it once a game, right?
sure. Yep.
So that's one shot, you're rolling two dice.
Hmm.
This readies every
Sure.
turn. I theoretically, at probably minimum, will get to re-roll 3 to 4 dice a game with this card. I am re-rolling more dice with this card than offensive push. Spread out over more attacks, but I am re-rolling more dice with this card. And it costs the same amount of points. And it's
You're
the same
not
slot.
wrong.
But offensive push is gonna be stable to a charging unit, which is throwing buckets of dice.
But it
So
doesn't matter. That's 2 dice. I could staple this to a charging unit. And as long as I'm attacking someone that's on a POI, I'm rolling a die every turn.
You know who I can see this being really good on is Clone Trooper Marksman. Now they haven't they haven't revealed that they have a training slot, but if they do, like these guys are perfect for this card right here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I think it pushes out offensive push.
that's so hard because like
no.
You're really rolling more dice.
you in the long term, yeah, but I feel
Yeah.
like I my experience, games usually are decided by turn three. So at
Well,
most you're rolling three dice,
your
arguably
games.
two dice.
Your
Sure,
games.
sure.
I play 5 turns. I'm a 5 turn player.
Valid, valid. Um, so yeah, I mean, isn't offensive push the same amount of points?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
OP
why. That's
is
why.
yeah. I don't
six.
know. I don't know. You're not wrong, Nick, in what you said about it, but it's hard. It's hard to justify it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It could go
And
either
then,
way.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, boys.
Does this
Moving.
stack? Does this stack with? Because I see Does this work with? So would I be able to roll if I'm gunslinging with Rex? Do I get to do it twice? Like what? Because Rex
No.
is
No.
gunslinger's
It's just
two
reroll
attacks.
one. It's just reroll one. Yeah.
Yeah, during the roll attack dice set, but with Rex you roll two different
I think you
pools.
might be able to do it twice.
No,
Yeah.
because it exhausts.
Oh
Like
yeah, you're
so
right.
Yes,
You're right.
you're
You're
gonna
right. It
form
is
that you're
exhaust.
gonna
Yeah.
form that attack pool,
Yep. It exhausts.
roll
but
re-roll the die,
gunslinger.
but you're doing two separate attack pools
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
And you have to
all
exhaust on
right.
one of those attack pools.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
All right. Moving
This
right
would have been
along.
easy. This would have been staple
Oh,
to Han.
just moving along. Uh, Trusted agent. It's a command slot. That's more important. It's 5 points. And pretty much this is a reverse season initiative where your commander gives your operative the order. Nick, how do you feel about this one?
This is cool. Again, love that's 5 points. That makes it usable. Yeah, I could see this is just like Strike Team Leader. I think I'm taking this in every list I make for as a rebel
Really?
player.
Yeah.
As a rebel player, yeah, I'm taking this because my commanders generally Lando now, maybe Leia, they both have 2 command slots. You're not filling those command slots. So you might as well hand out free orders to your operatives, right? On your 1 pip turns and you only have one operative order, hand it to the other one. Lando could do this to give Bad Batch an order, to give Mando an order. I mean, or so yes, for rebels at least. Rebels, I think this is in every list. It's in every list.
Over improv. I feel like you
You can
can't.
have both.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can have
Like
both.
that's the beautiful thing about it is the commanders they have two command slots.
Yeah.
You just yeah, why
Not
not?
Han.
Sure, sure, not Han.
Sure, that's one, but yeah, but a lot of your commanders do.
I mean Grievous can have this and improvise order. Like now I get a reason to take both of them. But
So
spoiler alert,
command
I feel like
slot.
these
Oh,
upgrades are
hold
for
on.
rebels and Imperial. Like
So looking at the rebel commanders, only one commander can have both. Has two command slots. That's Leia.
Yeah. I see.
Han has one. Lando
I
has one.
I'm not
Leia
an
has
improv.
two.
I'm not an improv order player, so
No, but I'm just saying in terms of like rebels, I feel like rebels need improv. Like
nope.
I've never not taken
Nah. Never
improv. Like
never played it.
so realistically for me, I don't see a
Im
point in. I
improv
don't
is
see a.
for improv is for weak players.
It,
Let
I
the
just
let
don't
the
see.
let the bag decide.
Nah, Nick's gonna hate my vet fest list.
he is gonna hate the Red Fest list.
Anyways,
We don't
no.
like
So
surprises, Nick, okay? We need to be in control at all times.
I just
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
play
just
Star
think
Wars
that
Legion.
it's in a messed up. It's in a slot where it doesn't matter if that. And what I mean by that is like if you're taking mercenaries like double bounty or extra mercenaries, you're gonna want to save that slot for underworld connections unless your guy has it. But even then, you're
Yeah,
gonna
Lando comes
want.
with it. Lando
Yeah,
comes
I
with
know,
it.
but once again, like improv matters. Extending your courage range matters. So to me, it's like it's a I for not Nick, it seems like a wasted spot because you could just pay 5 points and take C's on the two things you want to have C's or the one thing you want to have C's.
Well, I mean, again, the reason why I honestly think this is better than Seize the Initiative because one, you get to use a command slot, which is most likely not being used unless it's improvised order. Two, your operatives want to use the training slot for something else usually, right?
Yeah.
And so this doesn't fight for that anymore. It's a great
And Bad
way.
Batch doesn't
But
even
the
have and Bad
operatives,
Batch doesn't even have a training slot, so I
Ex-
can't even put C's on
yeah,
Bad
yeah,
Batch.
that's a good example too.
okay, well that works.
Yep.
Because like a lot of the operatives have multiple
Yeah.
training slot, good ones anyways.
Not
I don't
my
know.
Well, I guess that's not true. I do have a lot of training slots on my sports users.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. I guess it's good because you have wiggle room then. Because if you're taking, you know, you can double down. Normally, you could save that command slot and double down with C's. But if you do have a command slot you're not using, you can take that and free up a C. I get what you guys are saying, but I'm just like, I think on paper it just gives you flexible. It's the same thing as C's, just it gives you flexibility to choose where it's coming from. Other than that, like I don't, I'm not thrilled with it.
Yeah. All right, moving right along. This next one I think is the best one out of all of this, and that's Imperial March for 6 points, and it's training. Jose, tell me how good this upgrade is. They should be stapled to every Empire core unit.
If you mean every Empire core unit, you mean cheesing it in what is it, Revenant or whatever,
Imperial
Revenant?
Revenant, yeah, because you can give it to special
Yeah,
forces
because you
now.
could give everything counts as core. It's that mind boggles me because like during the list building phase of during the list building, your units and remnant are considered to be core. I hate this. I don't like it. I know Rob's gonna be like, "You're
What?
bullying the Empire." I
Yeah,
don't like
what?
it. I don't like
What?
it. I don't like it. I don't like it. No, I think it should be one of those things where it's like core at its pure icon, like
Realistically, how many do you think you'd be taking in Imperial March?
in a regular core.
Yeah. How many do you think you would be taking? And let's assume you're not playing Imperial Remnant.
Okay, so I'm if okay, I would say max you're taking three,
Okay.
and that's only because everybody's jumping on the Riot Trooper bandwagon now that they're good. All y'all should be ashamed. If you didn't love me at my worst, you don't get to love me at my best.
Well,
But
here's the
hold
thing
on,
though.
if this was old Legion and old Stormtroopers with them black elbows, oh six. I'll be
Well,
rushing you with Stormtroopers all day long.
here's the thing is that Empire still suffer from having Courage One core units, and so if you're only taking 3, it's not hard to suppress a unit to not get this to proc, right? So
Vader.
I feel like this gives them away. What do you mean they suppress? You can still get
You still
suppressed if you have
still
Vader.
suppressed, yeah.
Yeah, you can
No, but you
compel.
compel.
You can compel, yes,
Sure.
but again, this is another way for them to get there, right?
You can compel. You can new ways. You could staple Gideon on one of them. Like there's ways around it. You can do strict orders and peel some stuff off. You could do there's multiple. So here's the thing. I'm always of the mind that there's multiple ways you can handle certain things. Yes, Courage One still sucks. I'm not blind to any of that. But I feel like I'm always at the mind of there's ways to mitigate stuff. People just don't want to spend the points to do it because they want to put their points other places.
Sure, sure. Um,
Like if
Nick,
you really wanted to, you can make it not an issue. If you really wanted to.
sure. Nick, how do you feel about this upgrade?
Well, I'm not an Imperial player, so no, just joking. Actually,
Did you?
I
I'm
do
just,
Imperial Army. I do.
yeah, you took
I do.
shores.
I took my shores. I can make them speed 2 now. Wait.
Finally.
Finally. No, this card is obviously really good. Anything you're going to increase someone's speed to, speed 3 in some cases for 6 points. That's good, right? No, this card is very good. And it kind of answers your question, JR, of how many do you bring? I think it's kind of one of those things that's like you make your list, and then if you're good with your list, then you bring as many as you can with the points you have left, kind of a thing, right? Because
Yeah.
what else are you going to bring sometimes when you have those last few points left over, like 20, less than 20 points, and you're trying to find upgrades? Generally, at least for me, even I look at the upgrades and I'm like, oh gosh, what do I even want? Like I can't think of things I even want. I feel like as an Empire player, you're going to say, oh, I'm not sure what else to bring. I'm just going to slap 3 of these on there because that is useful
Yeah.
in all cases, right? So,
Right.
and 6 points is not that much either. So I feel like it's good just in that sense that you're going to bring as many as you can fit. I feel like.
And that's
So
valid because, like on New Wave Motivate turn or Gideon's Ruthless, you could technically speed 2, speed 3, then speed 2 again, and that gets you
Hmm.
across the board a
That's
lot.
really far.
Yeah.
so I just want to point out two things. One, this sets a very, very, very scary precedent for faction only upgrades because
What?
y-
That's what you wanted.
no. I'm not
Oh,
saying I didn't want it. I'm on board. But not only was it faction upgrades, I was more for faction secondaries. But
sure.
like this is crazy. This is like, can you picture like rebels give this unit incognito or CIS coordinate range 3. Like
No,
this
get
is
B2's coordinate.
this
Yeah,
but you
that's
get
what I'm
no,
talking.
but what I'm saying is this sets a scary precedent because this is Empire only and it's amazing. It's Value Town. It's just if there's not at least one staple in every Empire list, you're crazy. Um, but like I said, if this is as crazy as and wild as it is an empire, it just makes me think like, what do we is down because the other faction ones are gonna have to be on par or better because that's the way we normally get releases, and that's wild to me. Like, clones are gonna get to hand out what for one action for one turn. They're gonna get to Five's gonna hand out plus one order from his whatever
Well,
coordinate. Well, now he has an
you're
upgrade. It's gonna
speculating now, right?
no.
That,
But but I'm saying like that's scary. That's
but
because this is scary.
I
This is
see. I
scary.
don't think it's scary. I think it's necessary, right? I think it adds a new element of gameplay that wasn't there that is now there. Because one, this screams Riot Control Squad. Two, Shores now can get a speed 2 towards the POY that they're suffering from being prepared position to speed 1. Snows now get a speed 2 into steady, which is amazing. Like it just opens up a whole new way for Empire players to play, which is welcome because the whole formula of raising and lowering points kind of gets dull at times, and adding new elements to the faction is just a way of dealing with the stagnant of the faction without raising points or decreasing points, and I like that.
This this is also why they got rid of Storm's Black Elbow. Has to be
I
because
mean, yeah,
six, bro, and you're moving the Storms in for the People's Elbow. Like
give it
that's
charge.
crazy.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah,
Moving
that's
along,
crazy.
Nick, tell me why terror, which is a force power, 6 points,
Terrible.
is a horrible force power.
Uh, I'll tell you why. Pass. We don't even talk about it. Pass.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so bad.
terrible.
It's
It's
so
bad.
bad. I don't
Okay.
even think we even talk about it.
Honestly,
Does it stack with fear?
Well, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because it's
You
different.
could dish out two.
The only thing I think can think about why this is here is because maybe we're gonna get dark side users on vehicles, therefore you won't be technically engaged. Then I could see this being a thing, right? But yeah,
Maybe.
because if you always want to be engaged with this thing in the first place.
Yeah.
All right, Jose, you got anything to say about this before we move on?
Trash, pass.
Okay. Now the second best upgrade in the whole thing of all this, dug in, Nick. Tell me why dug in is amazing.
It's amazing for Empire. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Um,
Ah, no, Nick.
yes,
yeah.
yes. So
Look,
I could, because Empire is the only core emplacement that can shoot range four. The whole squad,
yeah, yeah,
right?
right.
The shores. They was by Spain and aim, long shot. They're the only core. I was pretty sure I was looking. Like all the other core prepared positions may have a heavy that could shoot range four, but not the whole
No,
squad.
right, right.
So this is an Empire card for sure because you're putting on shores, and then they can shoot their whole squad still being in the allied zone on the on what out of this most only two of the primary objectives they can't contest. I think
No,
they get
there's three. There's
three.
breakthrough, bunker assault, and recover the research.
Oh no, that they couldn't contest. That they couldn't
Oh,
contest. I'll
oh,
say,
sorry.
yeah,
I,
it closes pocket, shifting, and that's it, right? They can
no,
contest at least one POI and everything
yeah,
else.
yeah. In intercept
Yeah,
signal, you can contest
yeah,
your friendly one. Yeah, you're
yeah,
correct on that one. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, this is a very cool card. It's also good for rebels. Sure, you could probably use it for rebels as well. It is tough because if you start putting a lot of them out there, it starts to get points. You're starting to spend a lot of points. Like I've seen, like, oh, you put it on your FD cannon, but
That's
then
the
it's like,
only thing you put it on. That is the
no,
only thing you put it on.
I think you could put it on some other things.
In
So
rebels, or
in
are we talking
rebels,
about in general? Okay, okay,
rebels,
go
and
ahead.
rebels, I think putting this on vets and even the MK is doable. Again, if you have the points, I kind of look at this one the same as Imperial March. If you've got points left over, this card can be more useful than some others because I don't know about most of the rail players, but I know every time I bring an MK onto the board, that's the first thing my opponent kills instantly. Every time my opponent goes and kills that MK because it's so easy to see. It doesn't have a lot of health. It has white saves. It's so easy to kill. Well, for 6 points now, maybe you don't shoot at my MK anymore.
But is it worth it for that one for turn one?
It's not. It's
Well, no.
not.
So it's not just turn one though. It's every turn.
Sure,
Why?
but I mean,
Why?
but
Why would my MK ever leave my allied territory?
arguably to be contesting POIs, no?
It can contest POIs in my allied territory. I'm gonna have something stay back and
Sure,
contest
sure,
my
sure. Agreed.
POIs.
Yeah, if you were to take the objectives where you could test inside your
Yeah,
deployment,
which
then
I
yes,
will.
I agree.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
gonna bring.
true, valid, valid. That's a good point. That is valid. Yeah, yeah,
So something has to stay back. My whole army's not running up the board, right? Something
yeah.
has to stay back.
Mhm.
And if I'm gonna bring an MK or a vet, and again, if I have the points, like I said, what else am I gonna spend sometimes my points on with upgrades, right? This is an upgrade that now my units actually will survive a little longer. You will not look across and say, "Oh, that MK is dead. I'm gonna kill it right now." You might say, "I don't know if I want to shoot that MK with you rolling red cover
Mhm.
save dice."
Yep. Mhm.
So that's a deterrent for 6 points. That's a pretty good deterrent.
And to be honest, like I can see FD cannons now coming back, right? Because of the three objectives that we said that you can contest. Like
Yeah,
I would just put
yeah,
that bad boy right behind the POI and allow people to shoot it. It's just like, yeah, let me soak up the damage here.
yeah. Which my MKs can move, and which my FD turrets can move. They cannot be able to move.
Yeah, that's valid too. Jose, what do you think about Duggan?
Worth it in Empire because you're just replacing your cover saves color to red. I think in Rebels, the only thing this goes on is the FD cannon. Oh no, he's gone.
He's still there. He's Charles camera.
Um, no, his mic's gone too. Oh, he's muted. Or I muted, whatever. I think that it's only at the FD cannon, and it's only if you because of the changes to HQ uplink because you run the FD cannon with Duggan and HQ uplink. You just uplink recover, make
That's too
sure.
many points. That's too many
No,
points
it's
though for an FD
not.
cannon.
No,
That's
it's not. No, it's
16
not.
points
No,
on
it's
my
not.
FD cannon. That's supposed to be cheap.
No. Yeah, it is cheap. You're talking to somebody who plays clones. It's cheap.
But
Stop it. You sound like
not
JR. Don't do
not if
that.
you had
Don't do
16
that.
points to it.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Nicholas. You're better than that. You are better than that. Let me see. I have made a rebel list with 14 acts with that setup.
The only reason I'm
And the only reason I'm saying you can only trust it on the the satellite dish is with the HQ uplink because you can put it if you put it on your MKs, like that tells me one of two things because you as a rebel player are at the mercy of the bag, so you get that red defense until your token comes out and it flips. Your bag is so finicky that unless you coordinate to them with your troopers to guarantee you don't flip it, there's a good chance you're gonna pull it when you don't want to, or it's gonna burn before I even need to shoot it. And so when we're talking points, dude, I just did a 14 act rebel list with 999 points with Leia, Cassie, and K2 just because I think they're great. You don't think they are. With Rebel Troopers, Rebel Commandos, Rebel Strike Team, and FD Laser. Like
oh my gosh,
14
that is
acts.
the worst list I've ever heard in my life.
That means you should play
That
Wow.
is
No.
terrible.
Nah, so
That's a list Rob would even play.
no, I think that's a slept on list, sir.
Oh,
But anyways, when you're screaming points, I'm like, no, stop it. Stop it. It's not
It
expensive.
you can't spend
So
16 points on FD can because you shouldn't even be bringing FD can to the table. That's the first problem.
no, dude, you bring an empty cannon and you hope to get your deck and then you play into your strengths. If you're
Uh,
doing bunker, you got one FD cannon on one bunker, one FD cannon on the other bunker. If you're gonna waste and because you HQ uplink, red saves and I don't have to burn them until they go last. I don't gotta worry about them falling out my bag. And so if you're gonna waste shots on my FD, that's fine. And the cool thing is because you're taking your generator of choice, you're just gonna recover. You're gonna
so
pop your HQ uplink. You're gonna aim. You're gonna pop your
you
HQ uplink, recover, shoot.
you know why you never put an H cup on FD cannon?
Why?
Because if you're going to spend the points for an H2 uplink, you put it on your vets so that they can get the order and pass it to the FD cannon. Now you have two orders, so you would
But
never
I
put it on the
don't.
FD
So,
cannon.
but the thing is, I don't like vets, so I'm not
But
bringing
that's what I'm
vets.
saying. If you're going to do that, though,
I
you
don't
might as
like
well get
vets.
two orders
No,
for one.
yeah. If I played vets, but I'm not playing vets. I'm not playing vets.
well, all I know is that
I'm just
Duggan's
saying as long.
also a good upgrade for the marksman, lone infantry marksman.
Yeah.
So, and they love sharing tokens. So I think this is a wonderful upgrade.
I think you're hoping they're gonna be good.
I mean,
You are
sure,
so hoping they're
I
gonna be
hope
good.
every unit is good when they announce it. Everyone should
This
have
is
some good
that's
toys.
a it's a wasted thing. Like you took away my DC-15 for this. Like I don't want a group
That's
of
so funny that they're picking on the troopers, the clone troopers, the
like what are we gonna
stormtroopers.
get?
Like
Like Empire's gonna get a unit that's like here's the what did they take away from Empire? The DC-15 or whatever, DC whatever. Their DC-20 or whatever, their red long gun. They took that away from the regular core. So now Empire's gonna get a long range core with four of these guys. Like it's such a stupid thing to do. Just tell me you ran out of ideas and give me a different unit. Give me a
that's
clone
why
and placement
that's why
trooper.
they took out Pelt because it's going to be in the campaign later.
Like, dude, can you like? I'm more excited for Dug In when clones get their emplacement trooper. Then that's gonna be super
Hey,
annoying.
Anakin can have dug in.
Yeah, but you're probably not putting on Anakin, though.
Nah, no, you're not.
Why
Yeah.
would you ever do
Yeah.
that?
Moving on. The next force power. Tell me why this one's bad, Jose. Tranquility. 10 points. Light side only.
It's like Hope, but more expensive, right?
It does more than hope, though.
Sure.
But nobody's taking Hope.
Why are you
Yeah.
not taking it?
Um,
You want me to
what
read it
was
to you?
this? Yeah, because I don't have it
After
up.
another ally unit within 2 of this unit rallies, but before it makes an action step, you may tap this card. If you do, roll a number of white defense dice equal to this unit's courage. For each shield and surge results rolled, this unit and the allied unit removes 1 suppression token. When you tap this card, you may instead discard this card. If you do, roll red defense dice instead of white defense dice when resolving this card's effect.
Garbage. I think if you if you are if you have so much suppression on you that you need to flip it to red, your unit's probably already almost dead. I don't
Mm.
I don't see nah. I'll just take a hope for 3 points and still be a loser.
All right, Nick, what do you think about this upgrade?
So this card is not garbage. It's
Oh,
actually really awesome, except for the point costs.
sure,
That's the problem.
sure.
10 points is
Yeah,
it's just way
yeah.
too much. It's just way too much for 10 points. It needs to be five. If
Are
this
you
was if this
go
was
ahead?
5 points, I would entertain taking this
You're
card.
gonna slap this on
It's
Luke or
10 in
Ahsoka?
case you flip it to red. That's why it's 10, because you can bump it to red.
I see. I disagree with them price it that way because the red is a one time. You have to discard it. No, I like this card. You get to
Better
take
dice odds, you got to pay for it.
this allows your force user to make 2 rally rolls every turn essentially for themselves because they
Sure,
get to remove suppression and the unit they're doing it for, right? So they get
sure.
to help the core that
Mhm.
maybe got suppressed, right? And now can take 2 actions, and they get to help themselves as well and remove suppression. Um, I don't think you ever expend it unless it's like turn 5 and you have to get somewhere, right? Then you do it. I think this would be cool if you used every turn. You would practically guarantee that you are unsuppressing something and always keeping your Jedi not suppressed. Um, but I think it's cool, but the 10 points. That's the thing. So I like the idea. I do like this card. I like what it does. I think it's neat. It's a cool effect, but 10 points is just way too much. Way too much.
Yeah,
Five at most, maybe even cheaper, but five at most.
It's in the competitive slot as well. Like
Exactly. True.
yeah,
Yeah. True.
yeah,
force
True.
push, burst of speed,
yeah.
uh, barrier. One of the cards in here that is my favorite that we'll get to, but
Okay, moving on. The third most awesome upgrade in this one: extra supplies, gear slot, 5 points. Why is it good, Jose?
I mean it lets you ready up an expended card out of sequence, so that's good. Sometimes you need to be able to access your gun a second time. I think this is really cool on Death Troopers. This would have been, sorry, Nick, this would have been really good on Biston.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, not anymore. He
Um,
doesn't tap anymore. When he
oh
used to
yeah,
tap,
yeah,
yeah,
he
he
yeah,
used to
used to
tap.
tap.
He used to tap.
Um, yeah, no, it's good. Does this affect like does this affect like it doesn't affect the reconfigure at all,
No.
right?
Mm-mm, nope.
See, that would have been killer if it did that. But no, it gives you a second use of a weapon you really might need in a pinch. But that's why it draws me to the Death Troopers because you got your suppressum gun, hit them, pop it, have it ready to hit them again on a first last, and that unit has force suppression.
sure,
So
sure. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, this card's okay. I mean, it's very niche of what
Yeah.
where you can use it. Yeah, I can see like you could use it on your HQ uplink, right? Bring back your HQ uplink on a squad. That's probably the best use I kind of
Well,
think it's
like
for, but
I thought about stormtroopers. The stormtrooper captain or the one
is
that
that
just
worth 5 points though? I don't know.
yeah, it's hard to tell. I'm not
what does the
entirely sure
captain
about
and
that too.
stormtroopers do now?
They do the
The
same thing.
Yeah, do same thing.
Oh,
It didn't
it
change.
wasn't
Yeah.
reworked like the clone
No, no.
captain.
No, no.
One, you can't be suppressed. The other one, you
Hmm.
get to aim
Get
or
aim.
dodge or
Yeah,
aim.
aim.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah,
yeah.
because here's the thing. It kind of goes back to like this for 5 points or Imperial March for 6, right? You're
Yeah.
probably just gonna take Imperial March. Like if you have the points, you're just gonna take Imperial March for 6. You're not gonna spend your 5 points on this.
Well, I mean, if you can afford it, you can take both.
True, but you probably can't afford to take
Sure.
both, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess you
probably
probably
how.
can't. I guess you probably can't add 11 points to
You
all
could
units.
afford it on the thing you really want to take it with.
Yeah, yeah. I think
For
it's
you,
okay. It's okay. I would. I'm
Yeah.
not. It's a okay card. It's okay.
All right. Moving on. Uh, I've only seen one reason why to use this, and we'll go over that. But the next force power, 10 points is too steep. Clairvoyance. What do you
you
think,
are
Nick?
crazy.
No, it's too steep. It's too expensive.
No.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. Okay, Jose. Why?
No, no, go, Nick, because I think you guys are missing a key fact about it.
yeah. I know
Okay.
it's too expensive for the slot again for the one-time use. I don't. I don't think you can pay 10 points for this card for a one-time use card that's not guaranteed to actually succeed when you do it. So, you're going to re-roll those dice. It doesn't mean they're automatically going to be better. Now, I guess if you blanked all six of your dice, I guess yeah, they'll be better when you
Yeah.
re-roll them. But you're that's a lot for 10 points and the slot, right? Again, we're talking about the four slot, just like we talked about in the other one. Um, as an MCP player who I have played recalibration, and I've rolled worse on the second roll many a times. So it's gonna happen. So this card's not. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad. It's a good card. I think it.
Oh,
I think it's a good card. If it was 5 points. Now, if it's 5 points, I entertain it because now you're talking about a card that you say on turn 4, turn 5. Now I also say that I also this is a defensive card only.
sure.
I would only
Yeah,
ever re-roll my
1000%.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on turn
1000%.
on turn 4, turn 5, when you blank that defense roll and you're about to pick up your Luke Skywalker off the board and you spend this card and you get to re-roll it. That could win you the game in some cases, right? But 10 points is too much.
So I've only found one force user that could really make good use of this, and I think that's Ahsoka from Gar
No.
because you could again this whole force power screams beginner mode to me. This is where you blank and you're just like, oh, I want to redo.
Some of us are still in beginner mode.
No, you keep
No.
telling yourself that, okay? You keep lying to yourself, Nick.
He says it's beginner mode, but he's gonna be at the final table in LVO, and
No,
somebody's gonna
gosh,
use it
no.
to fuck him over, and he's gonna be upset.
Because
Clairvoyance, 30 points. It's unfair.
Ahsoka Tano, what she can do is you can whiff your defensive roll, re-roll this, and potentially get more surges and kill a lot more units because of Sheen. Like
But
that's something.
I think it also could be used on OP Luke. He has 3 4 slots.
Sure, sure, yeah, yeah,
And he's an expensive unit that you want to protect.
yeah. I guess you could. You could put this on Dooku. You could put this on Vader.
You do not put this on Dooku.
Oh yeah, you're right. You don't put this on.
You
Well,
do
well,
not put
actually,
this
no.
on
Why
Dooku
wouldn't you put it on Dooku?
because you're putting burst and choke and force push. You're not. You need those three for Dooku. Those are non-negotiable.
I mean, you sometimes you
Non-negotiable.
can't take force push, and then this is a perfect sub in for that.
I guess it just depends on the list, but realistically, like I've never played Dooku without burst, choke, and push. Like you need that. You need push to manipulate the board along with his two pip. You need burst because Dooku got them old man legs, and you need choke because it's a free mini off the board. Like you don't replace like you can't put this on Vader because he needs that. You need choke, you need push, burst of speed. You can't. This is perfect for your midline lightsaber users, like OP Luke, Asajj, uh, uh,
No,
uh,
so the only reason why you would put it on Dooku or Vader, and just like Nick said, OP Luke is because they have 3 slots, whereas in all the other ones only have 2, and that's usually
but
burst of
you need
speed
those three slots
or
for
choke.
push, choke, and burst of speed.
I don't think so. I don't think you need push on Dooku. Yeah, that's just my
Anytime
take.
I see a high end force user without push, I'm happy.
Sure,
Like if I like I feel like with control pieces, especially like Dooku and Vader, you need to be able to move stuff off
push
of
is
you, move stuff
nice.
around.
Don't get
No,
me
no,
wrong.
but you need to be able to manipulate the board.
Yeah, and he
And
could do that
and
very well without push.
no, yeah, because you have to bank they're gonna kill something to be able to
You could
not have.
do his 3 pip. You could do scatter. off his
But sometimes,
lightning
but that's the
attack.
thing. And sometimes in this new version of Legion, you're in a pip race. You don't get a chance to play your three pip if or
You're
like later on in
always
the
playing
game.
Dooku's 3-pip. You're not playing his 3-pip. You're doing it wrong.
The fierce, not the one that forgot the name of it.
I'll tell you right now. I think it's
Yeah,
I,
if this was
You
5 points,
disappoint me.
if this was 5 points, I
yeah,
probably would bring it on OP Luke
No,
like
so
majority of the
so
time.
this
yeah.
comes down to
I agree with
timing
you.
for me. So what this does is your opponent's attacking you, they do their rerolls first, right?
Yeah, they you finish out
This is
all their
what
stuff.
this is where it's best on defense because you activate this card on your modified defensive dice step, which happens after their modified attack dice step. So, for instance, you get rolled up on by charging Mandos, you get rolled up on by charging arcs, you get rolled on by charging fives, you get rolled on by charging sleeper cell. Because of the timing of it, these units have to burn their aims to modify their dice. They modify their dice before you do. What this does is, once they burn their aims to modify their dice, they don't get those aims back. So when you blow your defensive roll, or before you even blow it, or after you blow it, you can literally say, nope, I'm gonna make you re-roll that entire pull you just did, but now you don't get your access to your
No,
Wait, no,
aim.
no,
Yeah.
that's
only
not
you
what it did.
re-roll. No,
Yeah,
only you
that's not what it
re-roll.
does.
No, I thought
No,
it's
no, 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 no.
No,
It's
did I
only
read that
just
you.
you get
wrong?
to re-roll.
Yeah, it's just you.
Yeah, it's
Um
not, it's not fully recal from MCP. It's not a full recal.
okay.
It's just you roll. So they get their dice pool. So they still have their 10 hits, and you roll
Gotcha,
your
gotcha,
defense
gotcha.
dice.
Well, either way, I've seen too many times where I've blanked by one.
Yeah, it's a
So
it's a one time get out of jail free card when
but
you
it's
blank
only
that
for
roll.
Yeah.
you don't put it on a big force user. It goes on your pocket force users. Like I said, like OP Luke, Ahsoka, Asajj. You'll I don't ever think you ever because if this is ever on a big force unit like Dooku Vader and Maul, well, maybe Maul's finicky. Maul can be mid range force user, but if this is ever on one of your big centerpieces and you have to use it, I think you've made a big mistake because you should never be at death's door with a big unit that you haven't already mitigated the situation in your favor. I think with
I
Ahsoka blitzing with speed
so I
3,
disagree with
with
that.
this,
I disagree with that. And I kind of disagree with what Jerry even said, how it's a beginner card. And I've heard
it's
other
not a
people,
beginner card.
well, that's what people have said. It's for beginners. So I've seen a lot of, I've watched a lot of high level Legion. I've never actually played it, but I've watched it. And even their force users do die in those
Sure.
games.
Yeah.
And if they had this card and their force user lived one more turn because they had this card for an experienced player, I feel like that's good. I feel like that.
JR
Well,
says it's a beginner card because you shouldn't have been in
his
that position in the
Here-
first
Here's
place.
the argument. Yes, Jose is correct in that, but also is that you want to spend those 10 points elsewhere.
No, so I still at the points. I totally agree with the
Yeah,
points. I
yeah.
still agree it's too expensive. I
It's
agree.
not too
I agree.
expensive for Asajj and
And I feel
for
like
Asajj and for Ahsoka. No, because Ahsoka she only has one force slot. Nothing on there screams she needs it. She has burst of
sure,
speed built in. And let's be
sure,
real, one force slot. If she didn't have burst of speed built in, it's just burst of speed, no other
sure,
option.
sure.
Because she doesn't have Master of the Force, a lot of the other options aren't good for her because for her to get the ability to pop a force power back up, you have to leave her fate in the bag because she has to proc independent recover. This is the perfect thing for that unit. For Asajj, this is a perfect spot for that unit because Asajj most of the time is a death missile. You don't want to put force push on her because it's 40 points on a death missile. You want to like there's no other force choke is kind of a waste because Asajj
No, you want
doesn't have
force
master
choke.
of the
You want
force.
force choke and burst speed.
Mm,
You
I
don't
don't know.
want right.
Our
So
missiles look
again,
different.
just like what Nick said, the price is too high, and then on top of that is I don't think you could go lower. I could be wrong because this is a get out of jail free card, and you don't want to staple a bunch of get out of jail free cards on everything, right?
Possible get
Sure,
out frail,
sure,
right? It
sure.
may fail.
Yeah,
It may
yeah.
fail.
It increases your chances, right?
Increase your chances. You get to do it once.
And I feel like in that situation, when the games that you watch where their force user dies, in my games, I'm expecting my force user to die because they're such high value targets to be targeted. My goal is to always make sure they do their weight in points.
Sure.
That they're just when they die, I'm just like I'm not mad that they died, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, that's just
But you
again
use Maul. Maul's gonna die regardless. You feel I don't think you really feel that way with Vader? I feel like you should not be using Vader like
Vader.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Like I
Vader's
think
like the
Vader if Vader dies, you've done something wrong. I feel like Vader should be on the table till the end of
Vader's.
the
I think
game unless
every
somebody
force
blips
user's gonna need to die. Like I think the ones that probably could survive it, arguably the best, is one Anakin,
two
right?
200 points is too much to be like it's gonna die because that's just walking into a game being like cool this if it comes down to a tiebreaker I spotted
The
them
better
200
question,
points.
Jose, is are you targeting a 200-point force user in your game? Yes or no?
Yeah, because I'm bringing force users
Okay.
Hamakashi. That's different.
That's the problem. Is that force users are high value targets. They're always getting targeted. You got to play safe with them. You got to make sure you get your points of value, right? But anyways, moving on. Um, Next one we got is spotter uplink for 3 points, comp slot. I don't know how you boys feel about this one.
It's okay. It's good on units that I don't play with.
They missed the mark.
Yeah, this. When are you ever going to use this, Nick?
That's what I'm saying. If I played with an airspeeder, I don't know.
it,
It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put this on
it's
a land speeder.
but the thing is the thing that they missed on this card is you don't need to be in melee like just touch like I was under the assumption I could pop it on a bark speeder, run the bark speeder up the table, and if they go into base contact with me, it doesn't matter because I can't be in melee. That's not how that works.
But I can start a
Mm,
melee with you.
no, but the spotter only works if you're not engaged in melee. So regardless, if the bark speeder cannot be in melee, you cannot be in base contact. If you're in base contact, you can't trip this card.
No,
They've
you
already
can't.
ruled
But you
that.
can be though. You can be in melee. You're not engaged. You can be in melee.
Yes, but that's the part of this card that sucks. If it
Yeah.
was like, if it just simply said, I don't know, I don't think they can word it another way. But like that was the only good thing about it. Like I have my ATRTs up in melee kicking fools. Like if I'm kicking you, and I got spotter, and the melee barrier didn't work. Like then that ATRT value goes up because now my opponent needs to kill it because everything around it is now going to get sharpshooted because it's right there. But because it doesn't work that way, it's just useless because it's not hard to just rush somebody's ankles to make sure you don't get
You
that
know,
that off.
I think the ATRT and the ATST is a good example of stapling this on there because if you want them to be in melee with you because then you roll better dice, right? And so it's not
But
like
you
a
can't you they can't sharpshooter off of it because
sure,
you're in
but
melee.
it's not like a bad thing if they go in melee with you. You're just like, okay, cool. Like it's like which pick it's between a rock and a hard place. You know, which one are you gonna choose? You be melee with me, I roll red dice, or you don't be melee with me and everything gets sharpshooter. Which arguably you do the melee one, but it's not like a you
Yeah.
don't lose
It
anything.
it's only 3 points.
Honestly, I think this is gonna be for Grievous and the Magnas when they ride in the speeder bikes. Those
Sure,
things.
but you could still melee them. But yeah,
Sure.
I do get what you're saying. You put it on something that maybe necessarily your opponent doesn't want to walk up and touch, and now you're kind of making them go do that to turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um. Any more thoughts on Spotter Uplink? Nope.
You take it if you got points, I guess.
Moving on. Another great upgrade. Honestly, I think this is the number one. I totally forgot this one existed, but this is definitely the number one. The Door Gunner, 12 points. Only units with transport only can take it. How do you feel about this, Nick?
I wish they didn't take transport off of my land speeder.
I thought of that too.
So obviously for the bus, it's pretty cool. This is great for the bus. 12 points. I guess you're putting now, another gun on there, so you're spending some points now in your bus to put both those guns on it. Um, but that's pretty decent. I mean, I like it. It's fun. It's interesting. And it could work on the lat too, I suppose. The lat's not a bad idea to have it on as well. Um, I don't think you want to put on the gav because you have the weak points on the side, but I don't know. Yeah. So, but no, for the bus, it's cool. I probably would take this on my bus.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Jose?
I mean, it's essentially just like a free attack, right? Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
you
Every
can't argue
turn.
with you can't argue it's free no matter how bad the dice are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like Nick had said, it's just like you did this on the AA5. The AA5 is usually a wall of LOS. It's just like, why not shoot at the same time?
Did you see the artwork on it?
No, I didn't see the artwork on
Look
it.
at the artwork. Look who it is.
Okay, let's see here. Who is that? I don't even know
It's
who that is.
Biston.
Is that Biston?
That's Biston. That's from Rogue One. He cracks
Oh,
the door
yeah.
open and he
Yeah.
screams. He just starts laying waste to everything on the floor.
To clarify,
Yep. They're
there's
just
no
taunting you,
actual
Nick.
artwork on cards. This is just the flavor text for Legion HQ.
I'm looking
Hmm.
at it on
Yeah.
Legion HQ and they have Biston on there, which is
Yeah.
hilarious.
So, all right, boys. Moving on. We got the points upgrades, or the points adjustments. I'm gonna go over each faction and now give me your like synopsis of it and what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you think this is gonna do for the faction. Okay.
Or what they just made me so mad about.
Oh.
He's never happy. Darth Nicolas.
All right, we're gonna go over the Rebels first. Okay, Rebel Alliance. Ahsoka Tano went down 30 points. The
Good.
ATRT went up 4 points. The
Good.
ATRT laser cannon went up 5 points, but the rotary
Mm,
blaster went down 5 points. Mandalorian resistance went down 6 points. The
good.
Rebel Veterans CM went down 4 points. The Rebel Veterans
Good.
Squad went down 13 points. Rebel Sleeper Cell went up 7 points. Good change, good change. The Astromech went up 5 points.
They half-assed
Beautiful.
it.
Sabine Wren went down 20 points, and the Dark Saber went down 10 points. Nick, are you upset about this?
I'm upset about the ATRT.
Really?
Yes. The
Why?
the ATR went up 4 points, but the GAR did not go up.
Because this is why. Blame your rebel brethren because they're spamming 16, 17 act lists. And they said this much in a lot of the podcasts. I think on the podcast with Will was saying like, it's just they're trying to control like bloaty stuff. So blame
And
your
and
brethren because our lonely Gar ATRT is not at the end of 15 activations and not blocking a sleeper cell unit.
and it is
So you
technically
gotta
more
blame them.
expensive than the Rebel ATRT.
So the GAR one now is 6 points more expensive, right? Six
Hmm.
points.
Correct.
So you're telling me that I should be able to have an upgrade for my ATRT for 6 points that gives me red saves, critical impact, and an extra die in my gun for 6 points. That sounds like a great 6 points. I'll spend 6 points on that upgrade every day to give red saves and all of that to my
Oh,
to
then
my.
then
But but
Gar
but
needs to
but to be
Gar's gonna have
fair,
access to cheap acts to get up to 18 activations.
That's
That's why
so
they're
no,
doing
that
it. It's
should not be
bloat.
part of it then. If that's part of it, then don't don't put the same unit
So
in both armies then.
so
Don't make them different.
ATRT, hold on.
Then yours shouldn't
ATRT
be.
spam
Then
and
GAR
sleeper
shouldn't be
cell
red save.
spam got hit.
Take a
This
then
cuts down this cuts down rebel bloat spam list by 2x, which is perfect.
no. I
It
don't I
affects
don't
it.
I
It hurts you because you're not a meta player, but it
so
sucks that it hurts you because these crazy psychopaths that are ruining it for you.
I don't like the fact, but I get that if this unit didn't exist in another army, but it does. So I can't ignore that fact that this unit exists in another army that is substantially better for not any more points. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Our guys have red saves because they're wearing clone armor.
If that was the case, if that logic was how they're doing points, then Rebel Troopers should be cheaper than B1s. B1 should go up in points,
you're not wrong. I've
Yeah,
always
you're
had a
not
right?
wrong.
I've always
They're
I
too
always
cheap.
I've always had a like a gripe, but again, I'm not a game maker, so I don't understand the value of white defense dice and red defense dice. Like, how do you price those bad boys? You know
Well,
what I
it's not
mean?
even just that. They have an extra die on their attack, critical, and impact on their gun.
Sure.
Also,
Yeah. And their upgrades for the HRT went down as well, right?
yeah, the
Yeah.
guns are the same,
Yeah, the
but
guns are the same.
our chassis went up.
Which is
Yeah.
dumb because like, nobody's like they missed the point on the gun because you take the range four for the alpha hit. Like they're like nobody Rebels had the points to prove that if they really wanted to take any other gun they could have, but they didn't. Like
Yeah.
same thing with Gar. Like the we were taking it like 10 points for the cannon. We were taking it not because it was cheap. We were taking it because we get to scout off that big ass base and ram a force shot down your throat 2 to 3 times. Adding it, making it 15 points doesn't change that. Like we're still now all the options are equal, but we're still gonna take that range four. The only way I would say if it was different is if fire support was still old fire support, then you would make a case that Gar would take the chain gun. But there's no reason to take that, like you want that range four gun for that specific purpose. You get armor, anti-armor if you need it, but realistically it's a four shot on turn one that not a lot of units can make or hide from.
They also shouldn't have raised sleeper cell.
Shouldn't have?
Nope.
What?
Why do you think
Once
that?
again, it's
I said, and I recall I said this on a few casts ago. We have nothing else going for us. That's like one of the only units that are keeping rebels competitive. They can't. They should
But
not have
that's
gone up.
why
It,
they changed it because the meta numbers are showing that.
Yeah. Uh, Honestly though, I think it's a nice change, and we'll get to that later. Um, let's wrap this up, guys. We'll go next week. We'll go over the rest of it, the points adjustments, and get you guys' take on that. But before we go, I want to know, give me a letter grade for the Rebel Alliance changes. Jose, what are you giving this?
It's gonna Nick's gonna hate it, but it's A
It's
plus
A
A
plus.
plus
Okay,
plus
okay.
because I hate New Legion, Rebels. I despise activation bloat. That is their thing. Sleeper cell going last all the goddamn time, hidden behind brick walls all the goddamn time, shaving off two acts. I could live with that. I think they got away with. I think the marksman didn't get changed on theirs. And I think that was just MG being like wusses and not wanting to drop the house on him. I think that if the sleeper cell continues to be a menace, if they do with sleeper cell what guard players did with Arcstar Rexar and just wiggle the points around to still make it work, then they're gonna get hit with that marksman hammer.
All right. What about you, Nick? What letter grade you giving this?
no, I like it. I just didn't like the two raises, but all the rest of the stuff that went down, we could talk about more later. But yeah, it's a B.
A B?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, thank you guys for joining me. Any last words, Jose?
Coming to Vet Fest. We're gonna have a blast. For those of you who don't make it to day two, still come out. Roman's gonna toss you in the Rancor pit, which sounds amazing. I cannot take part in that, but sounds amazing. Come meet the Legion lads. Come hang out with in our little home away from home at the Vet Fest, Veterans Hall in Clovis. Come see the Bako boys that are gonna be out there. It's a good time. We'll grab some drinks and stuff afterwards and let's just shoot some dice and have fun.
Nick, any last words?
Come play some MCP.
All right, boys. Well, thank you guys for joining me. And those that are listening, thank you guys for supporting us. We appreciate that a lot. And we'll see you guys next time. Later.
See ya.